Welcome dear students. Today we shall talk about the cultivation and utility of saffron. The scientific name of saffron is Crocus sativus. It belongs to the family Iridaceae. Saffron is known by various names in India such as Keshara, Kunkuma, Aruna, Asa, Asarika in Sanskrit, Saffron, Kesar in Hindi, Kungumpa in Tamil, Kunkumpavu in Telugu, Kunkuma Kesari in Kannada, Kesar in Gujarati, Kesara Kesar in Marathi, Jaffran in Bengali. Saffron, that is Crocus sativus, is the economically most important species within the crocus and with up to 18,000 euros per kilogram, the most expensive spice by weight. The spice saffron is derived from the dried stigmas of Crocus sativus with distinct color, flavor and aroma. For producing 1 kg of saffron, 1,10,000 to 1,65,000 flowers are required. However, the direct labor required for saffron cultivation, harvesting and handling makes this spice expensive. The use of Crocus sativus dates back to 2500 to 1500 BC according to historical and archaeological evidences. The term saffron is likely derived from Arabic zafran, that means yellow, and today saffron is named for Crocus sativus as well as the spice obtained from its dried stigmas. Saffron was scientifically named by Linnaeus in 1762 as Crocus sativus variety officinalis. Today the greatest saffron producing countries are Iran, Spain and India. In recent years, in addition to the species used as spice, also therapeutic properties have been documented in saffron, and also some other crocus species seem to be of potential pharmaceutical interest. The amount of saffron used is really important, wherein low doses of saffron work as a stimulant, but high doses of saffron might be toxic and dangerous. Saffron is an autumn flowering plant growing from an underground globular shaped corm. Depending on the size of mother corm, each mother corm produces 2 to 3 principal daughter corms from apical buds and several corms from lateral buds. Corms have the tunic cover of parallel fibers and are well adapted to tolerate cold winters and hot summers. Leaves from 6 to 9 are narrow, grass-like, dark green colored and 30 to 50 centimeter long. Each shoot produces usually one or several, but even as many as 12 flowers, which are normally fragrant and purple in color. Flowers have an underground ovary and a style of 9 to 10 centimeter length divided into 3 dark red branches, that is stigmas, each one up to 30 to 40 millimeter long. Perianth consists of 6 petaloid tepals and 3 yellow anthers. Crocus sativus is a sterile triploid that is propagated only vegetatively by means of corms. This vegetative cultivation offers advantages in maintaining the genetic characteristics of the plants, but impedes any breeding advances by genetic improvement through crossing of different lineages. In Crocus sativus, therefore, many experiments have been performed in order to obtain seeds and in vitro regenerated plants, although without success. An alternative approach would be to investigate the closest relatives of Crocus sativus, trying to elucidate how the triploid species has originated. Still, the wild progenitors and the mode of saffron evolution is a subject of speculation. Crocus sativus is thought to be an allopolyploid hybrid. That is, the result of a cross between diploid parental species of which one contributed an unreduced gamete. An allotriploid origin was hypothesized by Saptaris based on sequences of Mads-Box genes with Crocus cartwrightinus and Crocus thomsii as putative progenitor species. The contributions of Crocus cartwrightinus to the formation of saffron were proposed in different studies. A part of Crocus cartwrightinus, Crocus thomsii and Crocus pallasii, also Crocus matthewi from Turkey and Crocus hosknectii, Crocus michelsonii and Crocus almehensis from Iran were mentioned as possible parents. Now, dear students, let's talk about the genus Crocus. The monocot genus Crocus belongs to the family Iridaceae, consists of perennial geophytes with several species grown as ornamentals, and there is a large community of gardeners exploring the potential of species or hybrids as garden flowers. Crocus sativus, though, is the most important species in the genus due to the economic and the medicinal importance. Crocus is distributed from Western Europe and Northern Africa through Near East, Central Asia to Western China, with the center of diversity on the Balkan Peninsula and in Asia Minor. Crocus sativus, according to Matthew's system, belongs to the series Crocus, which is distributed from Italy in the west to Caucasus, with the center of diversity on the Balkan Peninsula. The other species of this group are Crocus esumine, Crocus betopyrum, Crocus cartwrightinus, Crocus hederiticus, Crocus macedonicus, Crocus matthewi, Crocus maubaticus, Crocus oreocraticus, Crocus pallasii, which has 4 subspecies, Crocus thomsii and Crocus nacabensis. The species in series Crocus have culms of about 10 to 25 millimeter diameter, with fibrous tunics where fibers are parallel in the lower part, reticulate near the apex of the culm, covering until neck up to 2 centimeter long. They are all autumn flowering and usually 1 to 6 flowers from white or light pinkish violet to deep violet blue or violet. The style is orange to red, deeply divided into 3 long stigmatic branches, each branch 6 to 10 millimeter long. Since 200 years, various classifications of the genus Crocus have been proposed based on different morphological features. The most recent classification of the genus Crocus was done by Matthew. He described 2 subgenera for Crocus consisting of subgenus Croceres, including only Crocus banaticus, and subgenus Crocus with the 2 sections Crocus and Nudis capus. He further defined 6 different series in the section Crocus and 9 series in the section Nudis capus based on the division of the style, culm tunic characters and flowering time. In contrast to all earlier authors, he also introduced a subspecies concept for many species in different series. However, recent phylogenetic studies clearly show that the subspecies, at least in the Crocus biflorus, are novel ID units. Furthermore, revealing incongruence of Matthew's classification also on other taxonomic levels, as monophyly of series could only be confirmed for a part of them. For example, Crocus betopyrum belongs to series Verni according to Matthew, clearly groups with series Crocus. The genus Crocus includes currently over 200 recognized species. The species in the series Crocus are all wild and diploid except for the triploid Crocus sativus with 2n is equal to 3x equivalent to 24, which is male sterile, only propagated vegetatively. Generally, the series Crocus is known for varying chromosome numbers. Most common within the series are 2n equivalent to 16 with Crocus cartwrightinus, Crocus hedriticus, Crocus aureocraticus, Crocus pallasii, subspecies house necktie, Crocus thomsii, and 2n is equal to 14 with Crocus maubaticus, Crocus nacabensis, Crocus pallasii, subspecies dispathicus, Crocus pallasii, subspecies pallasii, respectively. Although Crocus acuminae 2n is equal to 26 and Crocus matthewi 2n is equal to 70 have higher chromosome numbers, their genome size suggests that they might be also diploids. Crocus pallasii subspecies Hauscannecti and Crocus pallasii subspecies Tarsicus are known with 2n is equal to 12 chromosomes. The variety in the number of chromosomes within Crocus pallasii might indicate crossing barriers among subspecies and thus the probability of the presence of independent species. Phylogenetic relationships among the taxa of series Crocus are still not clarified because either not all taxa were investigated within a single analysis or due to the low variability of the applied markers. Thus, it is also not clear who could be the parental species or at least closest relatives of saffron. Saffron of commerce is the dried trilobed stigmas of Crocus sativus, a bulbous perennial plant. Saffron is one of the oldest and world's most expensive spice. The true saffron must not be confused with either meadow saffron, that is Colchicum autumnale, family Liliaceae, or safflower, bastard saffron, that is Carthamus tinctorius of the family Compositae, which are occasionally used as adulterants. The principal coloring agent of saffron is the glucoside crocin and the bitter substance is the glucoside picrocrocin, besides which crocitin and saffronal are the other main constituents. Saffron is very popular for its medicinal, flavoring and coloring properties. It is used abroad in exotic dishes, particularly in Spanish rice specialties and French fish preparations. It is also used in fine bread in many countries, viz. In Scandinavia as well as the Balkans. In medicine, it is used occasionally in exanthematous diseases to promote eruptions. It is used in fevers, melancholia, and enlargement of the liver and spleen. It also has stimulant and stomachache properties, is considered to be a remedy for catarrhal affections in children. In modern pharmacopoeias, it is employed only to color other medicines or as a cordial adjunct. Saffron has been employed as an abortifacient and several fatal cases have been recorded. Saffron bulbs are toxic to young animals and the stigmas in large doses act as a narcotic. Saffron is an important ingredient of both the Ayurvedic and Unani systems of medicine in India. It is popularly known as a stimulant, warm and dry in action, helping in urinary, digestive and uterine troubles. It is mixed with other drugs to help in normal menstruation. If soaked overnight in water and used with honey, it facilitates micturition. Its oil is used as an external application in uterine sores. When pounded with ghee, it is reported to be very effective in controlling diabetes. It is also reported to strengthen the heart and brain, but only when administered in large doses. Saffron is also being investigated as an anti-cancer agent. Saffron is an important food adjunct, that is, food flavorant and food colorant, and is also reputed to possess several medicinal properties. It is an important ingredient of Ayurvedic and Unani system of medicine in India. Dear students, let us now talk about the origin and distribution of saffron. Saffron is a native of southern Europe. It is cultivated in Spain, France, Italy, Austria, Greece, Iran, Turkey, England, India, and China. The La Mancha belt of Spain is the largest producer of saffron in the world, contributing to about 80 to 90% of the world's saffron production. In India, it is mostly cultivated in the Pampore and Kishtwar areas of Jammu and Kashmir. Attempts have also been made to cultivate it in the Kinnaur area of Himachal Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh and the northeastern region. Now let us talk about area and production. No exact area and production is available. However, 27% of the saffron produced in India is exported to European and Middle East countries. India faces stiff competition from Iran, Spain, Greece, and Morocco in the export trade. Now let us talk about the botany of saffron. Saffron is a small, bulbous perennial 15 to 25 centimeter in height with an underground globular corm. Flowers are large, blue or lavender in color. Plant is hysteranthus with flowers arising directly from corms. Flowers have trifid or trilobed, orange-colored stigmas, which along with the style tops yield saffron of commerce. Saffron yields an essential oil and fixed oil as high as 1.37% and 13.4% respectively. Saffron contains glycosides, crocin, and picrocrocin together with lycopene, beta-carotene, gamma-carotene, and zeaxanthin. Crocin is the chief coloring principle in saffron. Chief flavoring component is saffronal. Now let us talk about the climate requirements for saffron. It's a temperate season crop and thrives well in cold regions. The plant can tolerate frost and snowfall easily. But during October to November, the cultivated area should be free from snowfall. In Kashmir Valley, saffron thrives well in a sub-temperate climate at an elevation ranging from 1,500 to 2,400 meters mean sea level. Sunny days during flowering are favorable for a good yield. An annual rainfall of 300 to 400 millimeters and snow during the winter are suitable for its commercial cultivation. Spring rains are favorable for the promotion of new corms, while a second spell of rain at the end of summer or at the beginning of autumn encourages profuse flowering. The number of flowers and time of blooming are dependent on the temperature prevalent in spring and autumn and also upon the amount of rainfall. Dry and moderately humid weather conditions are conducive to early flowering. An optimum day temperature of 15 to 20 degrees centigrade is required during the flowering period, with an optimum night temperatures of 6 to 8 degrees centigrade. Frost or rain during flowering adversely affects the yield of the crop. Now let's talk about the soil requirements. Saffron can be grown on different types of soils ranging from sandy loam to clay loam with good drainage. A medium light soil, neutral to slightly alkaline, is suited for its cultivation. The clay loam soil of the Kashmir Valley, locally known as Grut, is most suited for its successful cultivation. The corms tend to rot in humid and waterlogged soils, hence it should be avoided. Let's talk about different varieties. Different varieties have been developed by Sher-e Kashmir Agricultural University such as SKU S86 KIS, SKU S86 WAT, SKU S86 QUIL, SKU S86 SONA, SKU S86 LAT, SKU S86 Chand, SKU S86 Chad are some of the indigenous, and EC 37328, EC 221039, EC 217010, SCOST, NAG C8708, and Buddy C8606 are some of the exotic varieties available in this crop. The latter two exotic varieties have been found to give higher yield when compared with all the other local varieties. Now let us talk about cultivation and propagation of saffron. Plant is propagated vegetatively by using the underground corms. The corms selected for planting should be 2 to 5 cm in diameter. Each mother corm produces about 2 to 6 cormlets. Saffron undergoes deep dormancy from mid-June to August. The new cormlets produced annually remain attached to the mother corms till the beginning of the dormancy period. Now let's talk about the land preparation for saffron. The site is well prepared by plowing 4 to 5 times to a depth of 30 to 35 cm during March to April. Farmyard manure at the rate of 15 to 20 tons per hectare is incorporated into the soil during last ploughing. Strips of 2 meter into 8 meter with 20 centimeter deep inter-drainage channels are made. The channels are made around the beds to drain out the excess water. It is desirable to make raised beds in loamy soils. Now let's talk about planting. The planting season differs with the location. In the Kashmir Valley, planting is done from mid-August to mid-September, whereas in Himachal Pradesh, planting is done from mid-July to mid-August. Well-developed, healthy corms are used for planting. The mean diameter of the seed corm should be more than 2.5 centimeter. Optimum corms size is 4 to 5 centimeter diameter. Corms should be treated with copper fungicide before planting. The corms are planted in furrows at the rate of 30 to 40 quintals, that is about 5 lakh corms per hectare at a depth of 7.5 to 10 centimeter with a spacing of 5 to 7.5 centimeter between plants and 7.5 to 10 centimeter between rows. The corms are also planted at 12 and 18 centimeter or 15 and 20 centimeter apart in rows and at a distance of 10 centimeter in a row. Bigger corms give more flowers and higher stigma yield. Now let's talk about manures and fertilizers recommended. It is recommended to apply 15 to 20 tons of farmyard manure per hectare and a fertilizer dose of 40 kg nitrogen and 50 kg phosphorus, or nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium at the rate of 50:10:50 kg per hectare for the commercial production of saffron. The usual practice in Himachal Pradesh is to apply 80 to 90 kg of nitrogen per hectare in 4 to 5 split doses at an interval of 20 to 25 days. Besides, it has been reported that 3 to 3.5% urea spray is effective in enhancing the total dry weight of saffron, but higher doses adversely affect the total dry yield of this crop. Now let's talk about irrigation of saffron. In the absence of rainfall, irrigation is required during August to September during dry period. However, saffron should not be irrigated during the flowering season. Saffron is grown as an irrigated crop in Spain, while it is cultivated as a rain-fed crop in India. Now let's talk about interculture. Field should be kept weed-free for the proper growth and production of flowers. Weeding is done 2 to 3 times in a year to check the weed growth and also to avoid nutrient loss by weeds. Hoeing is also an important operation in the cultivation of saffron. The first hoeing should be done in the month of June, the second in the month of September, and the third sometime later. Now let us talk about the harvesting of saffron. Plants flower in October to December. Blooming period and number of flowers depend upon weather conditions. Yield starts from the first year, but economic yield is obtained from the third year onwards. Flowers are collected daily, early in morning after dew disappears. Flowers are cleaned and style and stigma are separated from perianth. These operations require skilled labor and is usually done by women laborers. About 1,10,000 to 1,65,000 flowers give 5 kg of fresh stigma that go into make a kg of pure dry saffron. Yield of saffron in Kashmir is much lower than those in other countries, that is 1.5 kg per hectare. Production of saffron keeps increasing till 8th year and starts declining thereafter, and hence replanting of corms is recommended after 9 years. Now let's talk about use of saffron in processed products. Value of saffron depends mainly on its color, flavor, and overall good quality, which in turn depends on the method by which stigma is dried. Tripartite stigmas plucked from freshly collected flowers and dried in sun constitute saffron of best quality. Stigmas are sun dried to 8 to 12% moisture. This constitutes first grade, that is Shahi saffron. Whole flowers are dried in sun for 3 to 5 days, beaten lightly with sticks, passed through coarse sieves. Material which passes through is then thrown into water. Petals that float on water are thrown away and parts which sink are collected and dried. This forms second grade saffron, that is Mongra saffron. Discarded parts of flowers again subjected to beating process and process of throwing entire pounded mass in water is repeated. Product which sinks is collected, which is very much inferior in value, thus constituting third grade, that is Lacha saffron. Alternatively, during bumper flower harvest, whole flowers are dried in sun and stigmas are picked late by hand from dried flowers. In Spain, drying process is called toasting. Stigmas are placed over earthen kilns or pots containing low fire in sieves. Final product as sold in market is a loosely matted mass of dark reddish brown flattened stigmas with a characteristic aromatic odor and butter taste. When fresh, they are glossy and unctuous to touch, but after keeping, they become dull and brittle. Dry stigmas are stored in cloth bags or butter paper and packed in closed tins or airtight wooden boxes. Now let's talk about the yield. About 1,65,000 flowers are required to produce a kilogram of good quality dried saffron. At the maximum stage of production, that is from the 4th year onwards, a farmer can get a yield of 2 to 2.5 kg per hectare of Mongra grade saffron in Jammu and Kashmir. However, in some countries, the yield is as high as 12.5 kg per hectare, particularly in Spain, depending on the crop management. Yields as high as 24.3 kg per hectare have been reported from New Zealand. Generally, the yield will be highest between the 3rd and the 6th year. The final product as sold in the bazaar is a loosely matted mask of dark reddish brown flattened stigmas with a characteristic aromatic odor and a bitter taste. When fresh and dry, they are glossy and unctuous, that is soapy or greasy to the touch, but after keeping they become dull and brittle. Adulteration of saffron. Because of its high cost, saffron is frequently adulterated with the styles, anthers and parts of the saffron corolla. Exhausted saffron flowers and floral parts of some plants belonging to the Compositae family like Calendula species and Carthamus tinctorius, corn silk and various materials colored with coal tar dyes are also used as adulterants. Water, oil or glycerine are added to increase the weight. The cake saffron of commerce often contains safflower florets with adhesive sugary substances. Saffron has been employed since long time against asthma, bronchospasm, insomnia, uterine bleeding, Alzheimer's disease, infertility, carminative, cardiovascular diseases, depression, cholesterol, diuretic febrifuge, stimulant, stomach ailments, retina degeneration, multiple sclerosis and different kinds of cancers. However, none of these treatments were tested in large clinical studies so far. So dear students, it was all about today's lecture regarding saffron, its cultivation and utility. Hope you have understood it well. See you next time with a new topic. Till then, take care and goodbye.